Are you interested in teaching kids to take care of their things? Well, you're not alone. I think many parents would like that. I'm Nicholeen Peck, and I teach all over the world about parenting, good communication, and how to build strong family bonds through the lens of the principle self-government. And self-government is definitely part of teaching children to take care of their things. In this video, we're going to be talking about the problem that occurs when children don't take care of their things and how to use the principle of self-government to help them learn how to care for their things better. I know it's annoying. We buy so many things and nice things, and then they get broken, ruined, disregarded. People just act like they don't even matter. And I know parents get very frustrated with this. They think, should I not buy nice things for my children? Should I not get them good shoes or good clothes? What about these games? How come they get ripped up and ruined and left out in the rain? And the books that get left behind couches and different places where they seem to get damaged. Is it worth getting these things for the children? It is worth getting the things for the children, but the thing that the child is missing is how to take care of their things. They actually have to have enough value for their things. Now, this is where I sometimes lose parents because they say, well, I don't want my child to value things so much. True. We don't want our children to put all of their energy and focus on things and having things. But we also want them to be grateful, don't we? And when a person takes care of things, that actually just shows their gratitude. So often, when a person is not taking care of their things, they are being entitled, lazy, and/or ungrateful. We need to make sure that we are helping our children understand that they should have a certain amount of value for their things, because that showing of value for their things is also showing gratitude for the person that gave those things to them, or even being grateful to themselves because they earned the money to get that thing for themselves. The definition of self-government is being able to determine the cause and effect of any given situation and possessing a knowledge of your own behaviors so that you can control them. When a person learns self-government, what they do is they say, okay, what outcomes do I want? What type of a person ought I to become? Or do I want to become? What is the best version of me? Okay, that's what I want. I want that outcome. So now what are my actions that I keep taking? Do those actions lead to the outcome? Or do they miss the mark? If they miss the mark, we need to adjust. A person who's self-governing will make those adjustments. So how does the principle of self-government relate to helping a child take care of their things? Well, we're going to talk about that, but before we do, leave me a comment. So what have you noticed that your child is not taking care of? Why do you think they're not taking care of their things? What's going on at your house? I'd like to hear about it, and I'll try to give you some advice as I can. And while you're at it, subscribe to this channel. So how does self-government relate to taking care of your things? Well, so you would think about the outcomes that you want related to a certain item. How long do I want to have this item? Maybe it's my new birthday present, my Lego set that I got, or maybe it's this new outfit that someone just bought me. How long do I want to have that, you might say to yourself? Do I really like it? How is the best way for me to care for that? And then the child would actually have to give themselves an instruction for how to care for that thing. So they would say, what do I want my outcome to be with that item? Or how do I want to relate with that item? And then what's my plan going to be for taking care of that item? And then if I go off track, oh, I left that item out and I lost some pieces, I better go looking for the pieces, or I better take the rest of it and put it in a place where it won't get lost or broken. And so it will help them bring it back on track just because they decided ahead of time what they wanted out of that item. Now, when a child saves for an item, they work for an item, they save their pennies, their money, maybe it's for a new bicycle or something like that, and then they go and they purchase that item, boy, it matters a lot to them. They don't want to have to go through that much work again. So just the act of saving and spending their own money for something usually gives them this feeling of like, I've got to take care of this. And so then they already have a more long-term view of their relationship with that item and the way that they should treat it. So the plan is almost just incorporated automatically because of that. This is why, as a parent, I gave my children the opportunity to buy a lot of their own things. Now, I know some people might think that sounds mean, but when they were little, I would buy them things, not just whenever they wanted. They often got no answers for things that they wanted at the store. But when they got older, they reached the age of about 12, I gave them the opportunity to buy their own shoes, clothing, extra toys they wanted, if they wanted to go do something fun with friends, gifts they were going to buy with for other people. Those were all things that they got the opportunity to buy for themselves, which meant that they also had to have the opportunity to work. So they would apply for a job to earn money from our family. And so then I would say, okay, well, what job are you applying for? Okay, well, it would pay about this much. When is it going to get done? And they would have to put in the time and get their job accomplished to earn the money. Then we had to teach them how to budget the money. We tithe in our family, so we pay tithing. So they had to pay that, and then they would save money for whatever they were saving for and maybe have a little bit of spending. And so it's going to take them a while to work up to this purchase that they want to buy for themselves. So then they're going to value it. Now, I'm not recommending that you have to do that, but it was very beneficial for my children, and they all took very good care of their things. They knew where their things were. They put their things away. They took pride in their cleanliness for the most part. Now, I will say that I did have one daughter who was really messy with clothes in her room and a few other things, but it's not that she didn't care about them. She just got a lot of things out too often is basically what happened. But anyway, that can happen too. But we do want our children to learn that those things have a little bit of value. And so sometimes giving them the opportunity to pay for them themselves can really help. Another thing that can really help is skill development. So when a person learns the skills of self-government, we teach 4 basic skills to begin their self-government training. These 4 children's books teach the 4 basic skills to children. They teach following instructions, accepting no answers and criticism, accepting consequences, and disagreeing appropriately. When a person learns the skill sets to these 4 skills, that takes care of 99% of their behavioral problems. And just so you know, a behavioral problem would be also not taking care of their things. So this is going to help them learn how to better take care of their things. We're going to talk about 2 of the skills right now: following instructions and accepting no answers. But just so you know, this blue book, Accepting Consequences, could probably also be very helpful, because if they don't take care of their things, you're going to need to correct them and give them the opportunity to accept a consequence so that they can properly learn self-government. When a person follows instructions, they can look at a person or situation, keep a calm face, voice, and body, say okay or ask to disagree appropriately, do the task immediately, and then check back. When a person is fully self-governing, like a self-governing adult should be, I know not all adults are self-governing, but like they should be, they can give themselves instructions. So their alarm goes off and they say, get up, or they say, eat this healthy thing. That would be the instruction. So they give themselves instructions to move themselves forward toward becoming better versions of themselves. They also give themselves no answers. There are 4 steps to accepting a no answer. A person has to learn how to accept a no answer as well in order to be fully governing of themselves. Now, both instructions and no answers both relate to taking care of your things. So if you've decided, I want to have this thing for a long time, then you're going to make a plan for yourself and say, I'm going to put this thing back away where it goes every time after I'm done using it. That is part of my plan. Well, technically what you've just done there is given yourself an instruction. I'm instructing myself to put that thing away every time when I'm done. Now, if I don't follow my instruction and something happens to that thing, then I have to accept the natural consequences of life. That brings in that blue book again. But then sometimes I might tell myself, because of what my plan is for an item, oh no, don't put it there because it could fall and break. Or no, you don't want to let somebody else use it in that way because it might not come back the way that it used to be. So that would be you telling yourself then a no answer. Or maybe if you're just about ready to use the an item in a way that you know you did not intend to use it, then you would give yourself a no answer. When a person accepts a no answer, they look at the person or the situation, they keep a calm face, voice, and body, they say okay or ask to disagree appropriately, and then they drop the subject. So that means that the person, once they give themselves a no answer, would not think about it again and just use the item the right way. Now, when a person accepts a no answer from themselves, oftentimes what that means is that they are going to need to tell themselves ahead of time what their boundaries are with something. When they have that item, they say, okay, how long do I want to have this item? How do I want to use this item? This is going to get into thoughts about boundaries. How am I not going to use this item? That's also going to be very important when we are accepting a no answer. Children can learn to take care of their things. In fact, they don't want all of their things getting ruined either. Talk to your children about it. Make plans for how to handle their things. In fact, I would help them learn cause and effect by having positive consequences set up, maybe just for a couple of weeks, on taking care of a couple of things, so they get in the habit of thinking more conscientiously about taking care of things. And then here's the big whammy. Do you take care of your things? Because if you take care of your things, your home, your car, your clothes, your leftover food, if you take care of your things, then your children will be more likely to take care of their things too. That is probably the biggest, most significant thing that you can do to train a person to be conscientious. Choose to give yourself instructions and no answers, and be conscientious about your things as well. If you've enjoyed this video, I know that you will enjoy my free course that I'm going to give you. Do you want more calmness in your relationships, in your family? Well, I have a Calm Parenting Toolkit that I'm going to give you for free. In the description below this video, there is a link to the Calm Parenting Toolkit. The link says teachselfgov.com/toolkit. Click on the link to that video now, and you can have my 10 tools for calmness completely for free to help get you on the track to learning self-government in your life. Click on the link now. I'll see you there.